It's a good time for a beer and a cheer, and Johan Museo has plenty of supporters. They're all around the course, and Paul Sherwin's found one or two very close to him. You know, Paul sometimes does ask the most ridiculous question.
Who do you guys support?
Yeah,
What about Laurent Jalabert?
Quiet on the set.
Andre Schmeel? What about
Quiet on the set. Absolutely, some of us are trying to work here. Well, the fans are right about one thing. Laurent Jalabert wasn't enjoying his Tour de Flanders. He's being dropped here. A man we missed at the start. We don't usually miss them. We found at the finish. He won the race, of course, Rolf Sorensen.
Yeah, last to ride in, but first to come on at the finish.
The great thing about World Cycling Productions is at least Tim Grady knows where to take us for a good meal. If it's not bratwurst, it's escargot. And the great thing is, Tim, when you do take us for a bike ride, please leave the organisation up to the experts, because we know what it's all about.
Now, Mr. Grady, you can see why I wanted to put the roof rack on, OK?
One of the greatest things about Belgium, Phil, is that you can get away from the traffic and you can ride along some of the most beautiful cycle paths in the world. All of the canals that they have in Belgium here really have these great paths alongside them. You can ride carefree, not worrying about the traffic. It's a great place to go.
And the weather in Belgium invariably lovely at this time of the year. And this, the lace capital of Belgium, Bruges. Well, Paul Sherwin went to the old Quaremont. Tim was just in front of him.
Just a little bit faster, Tim. This is the part of the old Quaremont that I always thought was the toughest part. Everybody's queuing to get over the steep part. Shit.
Take two, go ahead.
This is the part that I always think is the toughest part of the old Quaremont.
Well, after Paul Sherwin finally got his words out, we then moved on to the Menin Gate in Ypres. And it's here where this big memorial is to the First World War, and the walls are covered in the many, many thousands of names of the soldiers who fell here in that tragic occasion. Then it was back onto our bikes and out into the country. Quite a nice little group, including Chris and Mark on their tandem, and they were always at the back, and I must remind them about doing some pacemaking at the front occasionally, Paul.
Trying to get the leg. I'm about ready to blow here, I think.
Have you seen what Mr. Grady left at the side of the road as a souvenir?
Yeah, I just blew. I told you I was going to blow at the top of the hill. We just didn't know it was going to be out my mouth.
Unbelievable. The sheer talent of the man.
Just put my makeup on, hang on. Grady's rubbish. The way he came up that hill, I don't know why he rides a bike with. He looks so sick. And so to France, although the signs may not give you that impression. Yeah, well, anyway, Paul, when we get to this next junction...
And even on the road, Phil Liggett has to keep in touch.
Bon, tu as bureau jusqu'à quelle heure? It's an attack!
He only attacked because he couldn't understand a word that Paul was saying.
The Three Musketeers on the roads of France.
And now this is when we gather speed. Just look at this. Now, you might get the impression that Motorola did impress us the years they were in sponsorship. Either that, Paul, or the jerseys were going cheap.
I think we got a very good price, but the great thing about Tim Grady's tours is the fact that we're going to go out and ride some of the races, the roads where the greatest races in the world take place.
The important thing, though, is
like
to
icebergs, really.
make sure you ride in front of Mr.
road.
Grady. You have to ride in front of Tim Grady because he tends to make them slip.
He cheated. He went on the sidewalk.
You went on the sidewalk.
Well, halfway up, I went under the sidewalk.
You're some kind of a sissy.
Well, this is my second time
Sissy
out this
Grady.
year.
Oh.
I wear gloves and I go on the sidewalk occasionally.
What? Gloves? Gloves are for sissies.
Now, I think there's ample evidence here, Paul, you should not put your tandem in the washing machine.
No, because it looks to me like it had shrunk. I'd never seen a machine like that, but you do see the roads are very good, and there's still a lot of those Motorola jerseys at the front of the pack.
Back to the action, boys. This is now life at the start of Ghent-Wevelgem. and it's autograph time for Franco Ballerini. Of course, for us, it's back to work. Paul, first of all, a tip for victory today.
I think everybody in Belgium thinks that Tom Steels is going to be one of the riders. He won the event last year. He's already won.
Okay. And he blew that.
He
Who
wanted
is
a
he?
close-up shot of his nose.
There we go. You guys look good.
Oh, shit.
It was good. It was going well.
Well, you see, somebody walked in front of our shot, but we managed to find Peter van Petergem. He was in happy mood. Eric Zarber, well, his big win, he's already got it, Milan-San Remo, and this man wins whenever he likes. He didn't win this one, though. Oh, how'd you do?
Just put to Marcel. Yeah, on the forehead. Good on you.
Good on you, mate.
Good on you. No, mate, not mate.
The best rider. Okay.
Oh, thanks. Thank you so much, Mr. Liggett. Oh, thanks. Okay.
Thank you, Marcel. You're wonderful. Good luck today. I will be very biased on the commentary now.
All righty. Thanks, mate. I'll see ya.
Well, that's like the world upside down. The riders asking the commentators for autographs. And if you want to get some souvenirs and you haven't got any photos of Greg LeMond, you can still find them here in Belgium. I always think the best place to see the race, though, is at the top of the old Quaremont. But we'll go across to the Kemmelberg instead, where there's a great cafe. You can have a beer and watch the riders go by.
There's Big Mario, enjoying every minute of it. Now, Tim Grady's gone down to the finish. He fancies a bet. A fool.
Big waste of money here.
Well, in case you're interested, he lost, so did everybody else. Who would have expected Philippe Gaumont to win this race? Well, he did for a start. This was a great race. There'll be plenty more to come. On behalf of Paul Sherwin, I'm Phil Liggett saying until the next time. Which isn't too far away, but it's day off time again now. We've moved to this delightful hotel in the centre of Kortrijk, and we can all get back on with our bike riding now. And after all, that's why we all came here in the first place. It's time to face up to the action, so let's join it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, whatever you want to do. Hello, camera. How are you this morning?
I couldn't be better. Your thoughts for the big ride today, sir?
Well, I'm going to hold back until we get to the old Quaremont, I think, and then I'll just do one or two jumps. And if I get clear, then I'll keep pressing on for the finish. But otherwise, I'll sit up and let the five of us regroup, and we'll go down as a mass sprint finish. Either way, I'll probably win. Or, more frankly, I'll probably lose. Anyway, this is the top of the climb. Lovely cafe, this. There's always somebody, though, who's last up the climb. And by the time they get to the top, well, let's face it, we've all finished.
It's a great place to stop. On race day, you can't get in there, but on the days before, we can take a little bit of time to see some of the other personalities who join us on World Cycling Productions. And our ardent cameraman, Joe Horowitz, he tries a bike for probably the first time in his life. Quite remarkable, the position of the man as he comes up for his first win.
I got my heart jumping and my corpuscles a pumping. Ready to go.
Wonderful little hotel. We'll meet you there for lunch.
Okay.
We'll
having lunch?
We'll have the Liggett table set.
And there we are. Beautiful sunny day. There's the table, as usual. Nobody around to join me. And Graham Watson, also as usual. We usually find him sitting at the bar. And there he is.
What are you doing?
Paul Sherwin, how's your room, sir?
Awful.
What's wrong with your room?
It's absolutely disgusting. It's too comfortable. It's too big. The bath is too deep, and I'm having too much of a good time. But the big problem is, I have to share it with Mr. Watson, and he's always got those cameras around, and I never know what he's going to take a photograph of next. Hopefully it won't be me in the nude. Maybe it'll just be Mr. Watson. But we've been having a great time here. The high spot, I think, for me was seeing Joe Horowitz, Horrible Horowitz, the great Belgian, Dutch, Polish sprinter on the slopes of the old Quaremont. It was a marvellous time for me.
It was indeed, and as the race goes on, our form continues to improve. Off to the Forest of Orenburg, Paul showing my domestique. You know, one of the nice things of making the videos for World Cycling Productions is that we get to ride some of the courses as well. Paris-Roubaix, for Paul Sherwin and I, is always an experience. And the man in black continues to rabbit on while the rest of the group continues to drive over the cobblestones, which in 48 hours will be the scene of the next Paris-Roubaix.
What a remarkable position of the man in black, and the first time I ever had of riding on the cobblestones with Phil Liggett. Sylvia, our faithful follower, always there in reserve in case anybody has a slight problem over the cobblestones of the north of France.
By the end of these cobblestones, both of my hands were bleeding, but we enjoyed every minute of it because Tim Grady paid for the cakes at the end.
Compiègne, a wonderful place just to spend a couple of days leading up to Paris-Roubaix. The restaurants are great, the gardens are beautiful, and at the end of the day, the Belgian beer is still around.
And the crowd now waiting in the square at Compiègne. The stars are there, so let's have a look at them. What are you laughing at?
I'm ready when you are.
Well, that was one stand-up we didn't do. This is Fred Moncassin and André Schmilt. They've all come to play on the cobblestones again, and with some success. What's it like to be a world champion? Well, quite annoying, really, because you've got to keep signing autographs. And Rolf Sorensen, he wasn't going to come, and then somebody gave him a World Cup leader's jersey, so he felt he had to. And our group witnessed a great Paris-Roubaix. It really was a classic. One man rode it for the first time and enjoyed it.
Oh, it's just incredible. I had shivers down my spine, really. I don't care about myself.
Max! Ah, come on, Max, you love him, really. Anyway, after the race is over, by tradition, we're all invited to the party. You don't see food like this too often.
And if you don't enjoy the food, well, the late-night drinking sessions with Liggett talking about the history of the race are just as much fun. Phil remembers all of these riders.
Thank you very much, Paul. I know this tape will be treasured by those who took part in our special trip, and I hope next time we see some more of you join us. We had a great time.